In this section, we will learn about importing a CSV file into a PowerShell script. So let's just jump in. In order to import a CSV, the CSV must exist, as we created these two CSV files in the previous tutorial. So now let's import them. So in order to import a CSV, as we saw before, we can use the Import-CSV, and then in the dash path flag we can pass the path to the CSV file. So now if I pass take path and then the CSV path that is in the current directory data.csv, so if I hit enter, you can see it has two attributes, that is or two columns, that is name and age, and has two values. And then the same for the another CSV, that is ps.csv. So now I hit enter, as you can see we have the process ID, CPU usage, and process name. So now what we can do is we can use the same thing in our script, as well as we can create a variable of that. So let's say I have a variable that is data, and now if I hit enter, now the data variable contains those records. So what we can do is we can loop through that. We can use that later on in our script. So let's say I have a script. Let's copy that to the ID. I'm using PowerShell. I'm using VS Code. So let's say I imported the CSV, and now I have to loop to that. So there are many ways loops in PowerShell. So let's use the for each object. So if I use this one, now here I can use the ps item or $_ variable to access each of the object of this data object. So let's say I just want to print out the uh, process name. So what you can do is I will just type right host and then $_ or ps item. So we can use any of that. Let's say $_ and then the $_ will have every attribute that you have right here. So as you can see, we have the, let's close this one, we have the name, CPU, and ID. So we can use any of that here. So I'm going to be using the name. So let's say I want to print out the name of the processes that are in this CSV file. So now if I save this, come here and execute the script. Now the CSV file ps.script, as you can see, it has the CSV process names. So as we have in the CSV file. So that is how we will be importing data, as well as get a specific record from that CSV. And what we can do is we can use this. We can import a CSV into our script. We can create other CSV files from that, as well as we can do a lot of cool stuff. So let's say in the CSV we have this thing says SVC host. So let's say I want to extract this record from that CSV and import it into another CSV. So what we can do is here we can create a custom object and then import that into another CSV file. So let's try that out. So I will create another variable, let's say, or let's directly create a custom object. So let's create a variable that will be let's say, what should we call it? Let's say data is already there. So let's say CSV_data, and assign this to a PS custom object. And now this object we will create a custom object like let's say the name. And another thing is that we have to add a condition, like if the object is like the name is matching this string, then we have to do add that to another CSV file. So $_ name, as well as CPU, as well as process ID, and we have $_ so $_ name, as well as ID, and this is the CPU, and this is the ID. Now we have to add condition here. So if I do if statement, and the if statement is like $_ name dash equal to this thing. So I will copy this and paste it here. And once that is the case, then come here and create an object, a custom object of that. and then use this object and import it into a CSV file. So if I do this, pipe it to export-CSV, and then the path, we can create a path, let's say new underscore CSV underscore file. So I will copy this, create a variable, and we can create another variable like the existing PS1 and the new CSV file. So for now, let's create another variable, and that is new underscore data or process underscore data dot CSV, and now we have the CSV file name, so we can use that here. And we must pass the append flag because we are in a loop, so each time we execute this loop, it is going to export each time. When the condition is matched, it is going to import the data into a CSV. So now, as well as we have to pass the node type information, so now also we can pass the force flag. So now if I save this, and let's try this out. So if I come to the terminal, clear the screen, execute the script, and now it is successful, but we do not, I think this condition did not match. This is there's a dot or period because we are accessing the property, not the $_ name, so that doesn't exist. If I execute again, and now we have the new CSV file that contains only the process data that is a CSV host. So it has different FISDs, the CPU usage, some of them are empty, and the records are right here. So that is how we can import data as well as export data into a CSV in PowerShell. I will see you in the next section.